What does it really mean to be Australian made? I get asked this question a lot. And to be honest, when I first looked at this, I was a little bit confused. Uh, Before we get into that, I am Andrew Grant. Together with my wife, Daryl, we are responsible for training thousands of people on how to be entrepreneurs and become financially independent through the power of creating your own business and developing your own products. Now, what I'm excited to do today is introduce you to Steve Eagle. Steve's with me, and Steve's going to be answering this question, what it is to be Australian made. Steve is responsible for bringing over 3,000 products to market in 28 different markets around the world, Australia being one of those markets, and also that totals over $1 billion worth of product getting into marketplaces. So, hi, Steve, how are you going? And what I want you to do today, Steve, is tell us what it means to be Australian made.
Hi, Andrew, and hi, everybody. It's great to be with you. And you're absolutely right. You're hitting the nail on the head. There are so many misconceptions around what it actually means to be Australian made. So let's unpack it today and really get a thorough understanding of it. We don't need to guess at this. The ACCC has specific wording around it. And if you have a look at the ACCC wording around what qualifies a product to be Australian made, it says that the raw materials need to be substantially transformed in Australia, and the product that you sell needs to be different to those raw materials for you to then qualify as Australian made. Now, that sounds a little bit subjective, isn't it? What is substantial transformation? That brings us to the second point that you need to understand about being Australian made. It's not always about the content in your product. The measure that is used by the government and other industry bodies to measure is a product Australian made or not is not always about the components. It's more about the value. The value is the gap between what those imported parts are or what the raw materials are in their cost versus what you do to them to create a product that can sell for a higher value. So focusing on value and driving the value into your product in Australia is absolutely essential to be Australian made. Typically, you need to be creating more than 50% of the product value in Australia for you to measure as Australian made. Then there's a third point around what can actually qualify you for Australian made that I think very few people actually take the time to think of this, but when you understand it, you'll see it everywhere. And that is that not every single country on the planet, in fact, there isn't a single country on the planet that produces 100% of everything that their citizens need or want. This means that when you're walking down the shopping mall or walking down the supermarket aisles and looking at product on the shelves, and you're seeing something that maybe has, 30% Australian content or, 50% Australian content, and you're thinking to yourself, well, that can't be Australian made because there's not 100% Australian content there. You have to recognize that there's not a single country on the planet that does 100% of everything that they need. 100% of countries around the world import something, use it in their local industry, use it for their local products, and then also they would be exporting as well, exporting raw materials, exporting their innovations for other countries to take advantage of. And in this way, it's the value that is the superior metric to the content of what is actually in the product. That's how you identify, is something Australian made?
Wow, that's really cool. Let us know in the chat box, guys. Did you realize that it's about the value you add as opposed to the materials that you're using? I suppose it's a bit like getting a roll of fabric coming in from maybe overseas, and if you get that roll of fabric, but a person turns it into a nice suit here, where's the value? Is the value in the roll of fabric, or was it in the actual suit, the design that's been put in place there, and so on? So that's a clever way of looking at it, isn't it? To be able to create value, it's where you create value as opposed to the raw materials themselves. Okay, so just summarize one more time, Steve. Just hit the key points. What is it that we need to do to think about Australian made, but we can call our product Australian made?
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. So the key things you need to be aware of is, one, you need to be substantially or significantly transforming your raw materials. That's creating value. That's point number 2. Create that value. Do your value add in Australia. More than 50% of the price should be attached to that value add. And then you have to realize that it's completely fine if you want to use imported parts, or you're thinking about exporting some of your parts and getting it made somewhere. Then you also need to be aware that 100% of countries do that. Play by the rules, make it Australian-made product, and you'll find that there's a huge amount of shoppers out there eager to buy it.
So go Aussie products and make yours an Australian-made product as well. So, Steve, if people want to find out more about you, how do they find out? How can they find out about what it is that you do?
Yeah, great question, Andrew. Look, if you like what we're talking about here, the easiest way you can find out more about me or come and check out what I do is join one of my 3-day workshops. I run free 3-day workshops teaching my entire system. And in that 3-day workshop, we also discuss the nuances around how to make sure that your product can classify for the Australian-made labeling. So join our next event, click on the link below, and come and say hi. I'll see you there.
Thanks, guys, for joining us today. Appreciate you being here. We'll see you on the next one. See you soon. Guys, if you like what you've seen today and you want to find out more, why don't you click below and check out our community. We've got lots of good information around how to make your own Australian-made products, but also just how to make products in general. Love to see you there. See you soon.